YouTube, another video with probably subpar cutting techniques coming at you. This time I've got a Cas Hanwei, or some of you may recognize that as Paul Chen, practical special katana. This has the Musashi Tsuba. A lot of us are fans of Miyamoto Musashi. And this is kind of this is a sword I've been trying to get a hold of for a while. Not that I couldn't, but I picked this up down at Blade Show Atlanta 2025 on a special deal for $150. And I've been wanting one of these closer to the price I originally paid for my practical katana when I was in my 20s. And I had the opportunity, so I took that opportunity to purchase this piece. Now, it does have the longer suka. It is a synthetic leather, which I think is probably going to hold up a little better to sweat and oils from my hand. The same, the ray skin, this is not real ray skin. It's synthetic as well. But the blade is forged 1566. They claim that the hamon is authentic, and I want to talk about this just a little bit. That this particular sword, when I started looking at the specs, a 1566 spring steel blade, which I have quite a few swords that are 1566 spring steel, that this is supposed to be differentially tempered, not differentially hardened. And I don't know if it's an issue of terminology or what process they use on this. So if you refractory back a blade and quench it, you end up with an edge that hardens. You end up with a transitional zone, and then you end up with an area that's essentially dead soft. They claim that the spine is a 40 and the edge is closer to a 60. I think that may not be fully accurate. 60 is going to be quite good for cutting, but a spine that's only 40, I think spring temper starts around 42. That's going to make it quite soft, and in cutting harder targets, which people claim you can cut hard targets with them, you'd be more likely for your blade to bend and take a set. There's a difference between bending and flexing. And for example, a bend is where you apply pressure and it does not go back. And a flex is more what we're seeing here, where your blade returns to true. And if your blade is not hardened and tempered properly, it's not going to return to true, or it may break. Now, this particular piece is really nothing special when it comes to swords. Now, it does appear to run essentially down to zero from the ridge line here to the edge. So that generally does aid in cutting. Now, Hanwei blades are usually a little bit heavier, but if it's a stronger blade, I'm okay with that within reason. The saya is pretty basic. It's a gloss lacquer finish. I would actually like this if it was maybe stippled or a matte black versus a gloss black. But I'm happy with my purchase. And the reason I say that I would like it to be more matte, perhaps like the Tsuba and the Suka, if that, this isn't shiny, this is more matte. The fittings are matte, but it's a gloss scabbard. I also picked up a few Warhorse katanas while I was there at an awesome deal. And I'll be doing some videos on those in the future. So, before we get into this too far, if you haven't subscribed to this video, or to my channel rather, while you're watching this live video, please do. I can use all the subscribers I can get. Share it out. If you got a question, post it in the comments, and we'll just go ahead and continue on this then. Now, I'm not doing cutting yet. We are going to try cutting some pool noodles, or a pool noodle, which has been a little problematic because I don't have anything down the center of it, so it's a bit flexible. But in general, I'm going to say that I'm really happy with this sword. As far as design, it fits me pretty good. I'm not very tall by any means, maybe 5'7". On a good day, on a colder day, I have, maybe I'm not as tall, who knows. Somebody would get the shrinkage joke right there. And no, I did not cut my arm. I burnt myself forging a kukri while I was doing normalization last night. But I've got to say that I do like this design. For maneuverability, for balance, I'm quite happy with it. And we will be doing some test cutting in just a few here. Now, whether it's a one-handed grip or whether it's two-handed, I like the way this feels. I have not checked to see where my balance point is. I'm assuming we're probably 3.5, 4 inches in front of the go, maybe a little over, closer to 5. It is a high carbon steel blade. I have not sharpened it. This is factory edge. It's not overly heavy, reasonably light. I have not tried much backhand with it, which usually looks cool. My opinion is it's slower. I have not tried any thrusting with it. So what you're seeing today is what you're going to get. Pretty basic, pretty simple on that. Once more, I do kind of question if the Hamon is authentic, because it does look like it's pretty well mirrored on both sides, and that's generally not the case with Hamon, with it being the same on both sides, depending upon how the clay was, or the refractory, if you will, was applied. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and set up. We're going to try cutting the pool noodle first, and then we'll go to water bottle. And I'm thinking that this should be reasonably safe. I want to make sure that I miss this stump over here. Swords are not made to cut wood. Swords are made to cut people. But we are going to make it a point not to cut people with this. Like I said, now this is double pinned, so there are 2 Makugi, approximately here where I'm pointing. The Manuki, the ornamentation look brass, but I'm going to bet that they're painted brass. The Sepa and the Hibaki are brass and an iron guard. So, like everybody does, we'll be practicing cuts in an axe throwing lane. Pete, do you want to bring that one up here? I'll abstain from.
Looks like a clean cut.
Reasonably clean cut. now let's see if I can get it to stay here and I'll do horizontal. That's not happening.
Okay.
Okay, so next, just did case of Geary, do Jaku case of Geary. So we're doing with that reverse cut, and I'm just going to go through the motions real quick. Most of the energy is going this way, so I'm not too worried about losing my grip at this point. This will not be a flat cut because as I come in, I am pulling up with the sword. Kind of chip that one out right there. There we go. I think that may have been a better cut than out of the two. This was the first one, and that is the second. Okay.
Is that it?
Horizontal?
If you want.
Yeah, let's do horizontal.
All right. I'll just stand over here and.
Nope. I think it was just too much flex. Let me try it again. About the same place. So horizontal, I may just have a little too much flex with that, but let's do one more. One more. I'm not sure where that went.
It went behind you. It's because it's flexing too much.
Yeah, definitely a little too much flex on that, but a lot of fun. I'm gonna go ahead, wipe this off, and not that I think pool noodles are overly corrosive, but still. And then we'll set up for making a real mess in here with water bottles. Why? Because why not? Right, Pete?
Yes. I suggest we drink the Propel out of the
I
bottle.
already drank them. I refilled them with
Right.
water from the sink.
Right. So.
Like I'm not wasting strawberry kiwi.
Right. Should I stop it now?
All right, guys. We'll be right back with another video doing some test cutting with some water bottles. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We'll catch you in a few.
Okay. I just didn't know when to say cut or whatever.